Hi, thanks for joining us at ICANMAKESHOES. Today we're going to be doing an introduction on how to properly tape up a last. So what you're going to need is a shoemaking last, left or right foot, doesn't matter. You're going to need good quality masking tape. I usually suggest decorating tape from a hardware store and a craft knife. So we're going to first start by putting in a few anchor points here. The idea of this is that when we peel off the masking tape, it should all come off as one piece. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a piece over the toe section, and I'm just giving the tape a little bit of a stretch as I pull it over that curve. And all the excess I'm just going to messily fold underneath the bottom. We're going to cut all that away afterwards. So I'm going to do the same thing now on the heel area. You will get some creases, that's unavoidable, but just try and keep it to a minimum. Okay, the next piece I want to get is straight down the front there. Use your thumbs to really push down the tape so that you have a completely flat surface and that you don't have any air bubbles under there. So I'm going to do the same at the back now. Okay, my next anchor point is going to go straight down the side like that. So we want this one at a bit of an angle. So going from the back straight down to the front like that. And making sure it's really nice and flat, and then we're folding all that excess underneath. Okay, and the same on the other side. Okay, just two more anchor points. I like to put one straight across the top like that. So if you've got a hinged shoemaking last, which means you've got the hinge in there, which basically means that you've got a gap here, we just want to cover it up and pretend that it's not there. So that's why I'm putting these anchor points in there like that. Okay, so once you've got all of these anchor points in place, we can start covering the surface area of the last. So the way that we're going to do that is by taking pieces of tape and layering them over the top of the last piece by about 50%. So what I mean there is that we want to be covering up half of the last piece like that, so that we're creating a thick layer of tape here. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to do that all the way across the side, and then I'm going to do the other side. Okay, now that I have taped both of the sides at the back, we want to now fill in the front section here. So the way I like to do that is by taking some tape and going right over the front of the whole thing. Each shoemaker has a slightly different way of doing this, and In all honesty, there's no huge right or wrong, but the most important thing is that you've got a nice flat surface to draw on and that you've got good coverage of the last. Okay, so now as you can see, we've got coverage over the whole last, which is great. But we do have all of this excess around the bottom, which we don't want. So I usually take a craft knife and cut it off. Okay, so that is a completely taped up last, ready for designing. Subscribe to the I Can Make Shoes YouTube channel for more detailed videos on pattern making.